Hello and welcome to the Daily Brown Bag. Today we're going to be talking about Google's Santa Tracker. I'm Chad Hill and I'm joined by Adam Stetzer.
Yeah, good morning, Chad. Welcome to the Brown Bag. Google Santa Tracker. This is kind of an interesting story, so let's get into this, Chad. NORAD officially launched this year's Santa Tracker just on Sunday, a few days ago. And NORAD, this is the North American Aerospace Defense Command, is pretty well known as the official Santa Tracker on the internet. And for the second year in a row, NORAD has selected Bing Maps to use for their Santa Tracker. Of course, Bing being partnered up with the most popular Santa Tracker app on the internet has gotten Google's attention, and they've decided they're going to go ahead with a competing Santa Tracker, not to be outdone by Bing, always the competition, and an interesting story for our internet marketing community. So we'll get to that in a second. But first, Chad, just some fascinating history here about where the Santa Tracker came from and why NORAD, the Aerospace Defense Command, is involved at all. It actually started accidentally way back in 1955. Apparently, there was an advertisement that was mistakenly printed in the Colorado Springs Sears and Roebuck catalog, printing the wrong phone number for kids to call to get a status on where Santa is. So rather than ringing where it was supposed to, actually rang at the operations center for NORAD, which was back then called CONAD, and the colonel in charge of the staff at that phone number got lots of phone calls from kids saying, "Hey, where's Santa?" And of course, he's going to tell them. So he started giving out the coordinates, and that's really how this whole thing started. It's evolved since 1955 into, as the internet has come of age and maps have come of age, into something quite sophisticated. If you have kids, you're probably already familiar with it. If you're not, it's a 3D map. There's some fun activities. It's available in 8 different languages. And of course, you still can call or email if you want to get status. But as I mentioned, they partner up with Bing, and of course, that gets under Google's skin. So Google plans to get in the game and start a competing Santa Tracker. So, Chad, what do we know about what Google's up to?
Yeah, well, as you said, Adam, it is interesting, and I think it's definitely it's a good little example of the shift that Google has seen play out over the last couple of years. I mean, they used to be perfectly content being a resource you would go to, and now more and more they want that mind share, that share of audience on these types of events. So let's talk about what's going on here. Like you said, a couple of years ago, for many years they used Google Maps. Last year they went to Bing, and so Google is rolling out this competitive product. It uses Google Earth. It's very slick, as we can expect. Anyone who's Google Earth knows it's a really nice product. But I think the real question here is, like, Google, do you really have to do this? I mean, this is something that NORAD has been their baby for a really long time, and it is sort of a little feels a little bit like it's a little Me Too and a little bit of sour grapes kind of feel to it, because they basically went with Bing away from Google. And now Google is going to try to take some of that share. And my guess is, given their reach, they may actually pull quite a few people off of NORAD. And then, for the kids, now there's going to be different maps showing Santa in different places. So how's that really going to play out? It's definitely an interesting trend and a little fun for the holiday seasons, I guess.
Yeah, so I guess on the one side, just say, Google, leave well enough alone. I mean, how much really is at stake economically here? And NORAD has been doing this for a very long time. And if anyone's feeling critical of, like, why is government time and resource and dollars going towards this, we should point out this is all done by volunteers. Over 1,200 NORAD employees volunteer their time above and beyond what they do for work to respond to phone calls and emails and help support the technology. So I'm kind of with you, Chad. Maybe this is one Google should just take the high road on. You're the #1 player on the internet. You own the internet, but NORAD owns monitoring the skies and has a long tradition of tracking Santa going back to 1955. I guess on the flip side, Chad, though, I guess our kids probably need to be aware that things in life always have choices, and there will always be competition for them, whether it's Burger King and McDonald's, Android, or Apple iOS, and Bing and Google. So I guess this is how things work in our free market economy. We'd be interested in your thoughts too. Is this sour grapes on Google's part? Should they leave well enough alone, or is this a healthy lesson for the youngsters in how competition works? Leave us some comments, and we hope to see you back at our brown bag tomorrow.